What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Lazy Indian Gamers YouTube channel. My name is Vinay, and today we're going to be doing something different. I'm going to be quickly running you through the PlayStation 5 ecosystem. That's right. I thought I'll do a video on an explainer video of sorts where I kind of run you through how the PlayStation UI and UX feels, the stuff that you can do, and just touch upon some of the internal settings that people might not be used to. Before we get started, do hit that subscribe button. Definitely helps with my YouTube algorithms and to help me reach my sub goal. Again, if there's something in this video that I don't cover, leave a comment in the comment section below, obviously, and I will try and make a video for that specific use case. This is meant as an overview and I'll touch as many options as possible, but I might miss out a few options. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So this is what you see when you boot up the PlayStation. I don't know if you can hear the audio well enough. I'll kind of raise the level a bit. It's got a nice calming and soothing tone. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit the PlayStation button. As you can see, I'm already signed in, right? I'm already signed into my profile, but then you could also go ahead and add a separate user, which is what I'll show you. So, this is the process of adding a user. So you click add user. Now, there are multiple things you can do. You can just sign in. You can get started to create a new user, or you can just choose quick play. If you already have a PlayStation account from, say, your PS4 or whatever, you can kind of sign in using that here. Or if you have a friend coming over and they want to use their PlayStation account or PSN to sign in, this is the way to do it. I'm going to show you how quick play works. Just click on quick play and you are in, right? You see all the games that are already installed on the system and you should be able to launch and play that. But let me go, and as you can see, it shows up as guest one. Doesn't really assign a profile. Obviously, I guess trophies and all that won't be there. So I'm going to log out from here and go back to this awesome main screen, and then I'm going to show you how to kind of create a new user, right? So you go ahead, and this has got all your PlayStation 5 software license agreement. Please read that, hit agree, and then you have the confirm button. And here, so you can either sign in with a QR code, or you can kind of create an account and go through the entire online process. Now, if you don't want to do this, you can skip and play offline and still create an account. So I'm going to go ahead and say that. It will still let you kind of pick different avatars, right? Just go through all these. You have like retro and stuff, and you can probably choose something. I'm going to go ahead and choose, say, Aloy, and just hit next. You can actually give it a name now. I'm going to go ahead and say TLIG, just a fake account, and say okay. I'm going to choose limited data only. This basically asks you about data collection. Note that if you want those analytics at the end of the year, which shows you how many games you've played, how many hours, and all those things, you might need to choose confirm and continue, but I'm going to choose limited data only and go ahead. So again, you're launched into here. This is offline. You can't obviously play online, and you can of course go ahead and kind of sign in and create an account, and I won't cover that in this video. That's meant for, that's out of the scope of this article. So I'm just going to quickly show, if I'm not signed in, the games that I already have installed will show up here and in the USB extended storage, obviously, but it will not show you my PlayStation Plus games. If I've downloaded the PlayStation Plus games, it will show you. So I'm going to try and see if I can just launch this game. And let's see if it works. This is a quick test. Apparently the game loads up. It doesn't stop you from playing a PlayStation Plus game. Oh, there you go. So you need to be signed in to kind of play this. I don't know if it's because of an online feature or because, you just need to be signed in. I'm not going to test that now. I kind of held the PlayStation button for 3 seconds to go back to the home screen. They have changed that around a bit. I'll close the game. I'm going to log out and just actually go to my account, right? I'm going to log out and I'll show you user management quickly. Now, if I click the PlayStation button, obviously the offline user that I created shows up. I'm just going to go ahead to my account. And before that, here is the power button. You can go to rest mode directly from the screen, or you can kind of turn off the PS5 or even restart it. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Obviously I have a code set up and I will log in. So this is the main UI like you already saw, but we didn't run through it. It lands on the first game that you have. Of the latest update, you can see there's a tag next to Hitman 2 called PS4, which means it's a PS4 binary and it is running from my external hard disk. The way you see that is there is a small USB icon next to the PlayStation Plus icon and the Hitman 2 icon. If I go to Astro's Playroom, now I have kind of copied Astro's Playroom onto my external hard disk because I'm not currently playing it. That's why I don't see a play option, because you can't play PS5 games. You can see Astro's Playroom is shown as a PS5 game, right? So you won't be able to play PS5 games off the external hard disk. If I want to play it, I'll need to kind of hit copy and it will copy it onto my internal disk, and that's how I kind of move around games. As you can see, PS4 games can be played off the external hard disk. This PS4 game is in my internal drive. Now I can go to manage game content. Oh, that didn't show anything. Okay, so I can actually go and kind of move games and apps from, I guess, here, and it'll load up the games and apps in console storage, and I can hit move and it will move this game to external storage. Now this might take a while. I hope it doesn't take too long. I do have an SSD connected. This will also give you a fair idea of how long it kind of takes to kind of move files between, right? And this is a good 20 GB game. I need to confirm that. So the reason I'm kind of showing you this in the beginning is because this is one of the main features that people kind of have a doubt on. What can you play on the internal disk? What can you play on the external disk? How do you move games around? How does it work? There's a lot of confusion surrounding this particular process, and I just wanted to quickly first start off with showing you guys how long it takes, what happens when you hit the move button and stuff, and hopefully this will get done a little fast. And in the meantime, I'm going to take this time to say, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell icon if you want to see more such videos. It definitely helps. And check out my Patreon, and I hope you will find it interesting. And I have a few subscriber perks. Leave your feedback. It's just at $1. And if you can't, do kind of share it on social media. That definitely helps. If you can't support financially, I completely understand. So there you have it. It took about a minute to just move this game, and it was about 22 GB. That's quite fast. So it also gives you a breakup of how much storage is left in console, how much is left in USB extended storage. I think I have a 500 GB drive, right? I think so. We will come to that. And now if you can see Vampire PS4, the icon is changed. It shows you that the game is being played from a USB drive. And now that I move back to Astro, you see that the game has been copied over to my internal drive, and that kind of happens seamlessly. So Vampire was kind of copying out onto the PS4, and at the same time Astro was kind of copying in, and you just launch Astro. Guys, if you're playing the PS5 for the first time, I promise you need to try Astro. It's got a really good it's probably the best use of the DualSense controller, and gives you the overall the best feel for, say, a PlayStation 5 game. Overall, it's an amazing game. I know it looks very childish, but you should definitely try it. There's a controller demo here that you can kind of see. There's an artifact viewer that if you get all the artifacts, you kind of get to see all the retro stuff and kind of browse it. It's damn fun if you want a little bit of PlayStation history and heritage. So like you saw, that's how it launched. I'm gonna hit the options button to kind of bring up the context menu. That's how we kind of deal with the game. I can kind of check for an update and it will show you if there is an update. You can also kind of click manage game content. Normally, let me show this to you on maybe another game. Manage game content normally kind of gives you language packs, I think. Yeah, so you have different things. You can kind of download language packs. You can kind of delete some other languages, and sometimes other stuff shows up there, probably like multiplayer maps or something. And let me see if there's a better example of that. No. Yeah, so that's what manage game content does. You can also select item to delete, which will launch the overall list of stuff you can kind of delete. And let me see if you can also go into the update history. It will give you an overview of all the updates. Now, Hitman seems to have patch notes externally, but some games do have patch notes inbuilt. Like version 1.07 says added story and hardcore modes, various bug fixes and improvements. So different developers do this differently. Right. Oops, that's not the option I wanted. Where is update history? This is an update. Check for update. Okay. Also information. Now this gives you an overall overview of the binary. It shows you when the last update was, parental controls, size of the files, download status, if it's downloading version, who's eligible for starting it, and where it's installed in. So that's a quick overview of information on each game. Obviously I won't touch on intellectual property notices. You can kind of go check that out if you want to. Yep. You can also check the sync status of save data. It kind of shows you the local storage versus cloud storage, whether it's synced or not. And you will have to close the game or app to kind of check the sync status, I guess, to avoid any conflicts. And yeah, save data seems to be synced. So for some reason, if your save data is not synced to the cloud or the other way around, you can just go ahead and check the sync status on the game. Yep. Though it seems to work only for PS5 games, right? Or am I missing something? Upload. So yeah, for PS4 and PS5, it kind of gives you the option of uploading and downloading save data like the PS4 did. So it doesn't seem to have an automatic sync, which might be a good thing or a bad thing, the way you look at it and what you're trying to do. So yeah, that's that. Now, if you go left, you get the store. Obviously, you can kind of scroll down to the store and just run through stuff. You have your latest stuff, the PlayStation Plus collection. I'm hitting R1 to kind of tab to the right and see a list of all the collections. You have your games coming soon, free to play games. So the PS Plus collection, I'll touch upon that quickly. Ooh, Sniper 3 Ghost Warriors. Interesting. Then you have the deals, which has the November savings and different savings on store. You have a list of subscriptions, of your active subscriptions, like EA Play, whatever you subscribe to. And you have the browse option where you can kind of browse all the games you want to go through. You can obviously filter this by price. So if you want something about $100, you can do that. Now, if you want to make sure that you want a particular genre or a particular platform, a PS5, you can do that. And that's a quick overview of the PlayStation Store. Now, let me show you PlayStation Plus. A lot of confusion exists on what the PlayStation Plus collection is. Now, the PlayStation Plus collection is seen here. This is something you can only kind of activate and access once you have a PS5. Once you boot up, and if you have a PlayStation Plus subscription, you will get this option. You go ahead and click into that and you'll see a list of 20 games across all categories. Now these games are perpetual, which means they do not expire at the end of the month. Every PS5 owner with a PlayStation Plus subscription gets access to these 20 games, and you can just add it to your library. Click in and just say add. You will see a button that says add to library here, and just click in. Because I've already added it, it kind of says download, right? So as you can see, you have Crash Bandicoot, God of War, Mortal Kombat 10, X, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Battlefield 1, Persona 5, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Monster Hunter World, Days Gone, Detroit. This is a good game. And Uncharted 4, Batman Arkham Knight, which is an amazing game, Infamous Second Son, Ratchet and Clank, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us, probably the best game ever made, Bloodborne, and Until Dawn. So as you can see, it's across a diverse genre, the games that exist here. The one thing I would like to see them add was probably Horizon Zero Dawn, but then, maybe they will expand on that. Of course, I think I called it Battlefield 1 also, yeah. Another great game, probably one of the best Battlefields so far. So that is your PlayStation Plus collection, right? So that is just something that exists perpetually. I don't think they're going to change it anytime soon, but still just add it to your library and keep. Now you next have your PlayStation 5 monthly games. So every month you kind of get one PlayStation 5 game. So this is for November, right? So you will see this change across months. This is Knockout City for November. You need to again go in and make sure you add this to library. Even if you're not going to play it, make sure you add it to library, because you don't know when you or another friend or someone's going to play it in the future. Then you have a PlayStation 4 monthly game. You end up getting two. This varies. Sometimes there's only one PlayStation 4 game. Then sometimes there are VR titles. Sometimes there aren't VR titles. So it varies. But the normal monthly game list is normally one PS5 monthly game and two PS4 monthly games. The PS4 monthly game, of course, is First Class Trouble and Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. So these run on PS4 binaries, and sometimes what happens is you will get a PS5 monthly game that also has a binary for PS4, but that won't be accessible, or the other way around. You'll get a PS4 monthly game, say it's Knockout City, but you won't be able to play it on PS5. That varies sometimes. Just because it comes in here, maybe you won't have access to the PS5 binary. Of course, unless it's a free upgrade, right? You can get the free upgrade. Again, we have this month bonus VR titles. This is a full list of PlayStation Plus monthly games. You also have Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and The Persistence VR, also Until You Fall. I think Persistence is also VR compatible, I think. Yeah, okay. So those are your PlayStation Plus benefits. You also have exclusive discounts. So you click on that, you kind of go in, and wherever you see this yellow badge with the plus icon, that discount is only for PlayStation Plus members, right? So you see Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is an amazing game that's 65% off. This you will get only if you have, say, the PlayStation Plus collection, otherwise, the PlayStation Plus subscription. Otherwise, you won't have this discount. So there's multiple reasons you might want to if you're buying digital. As you can see, it says save 65% with PlayStation Plus. And of course, if you have EA Play, you can always download it. I have EA Play, I think for 1 month. I got it temporarily, and that kind of was a good buy, right? So this is a brief overview of how PlayStation Plus works. I hope this whole confusion is sorted. As you can see, again, this is their whole marketing graphic of the PlayStation Plus collection. So the PlayStation Plus collection is a collection of 20 games that persist. The PlayStation Plus monthly subscription are the other games that I just showed you. I hope that is clear, and I hope there is, if you need any other doubts or clarification, let me know. You can of course kind of buy and play the subscriptions right on here or do it on the web. It's 3K for a year, which is quite a steal. If you go for 3 months, it's 1199 and 499 every month. So obviously it makes sense to go for the annual plan. It's quite cheap. So that is a quick run through of that. Now, this is the games tab. If you go up here and go to the right, you'll find the media tab where you kind of find your apps, right? Your Apple TV, Twitch, Spotify. You also have an app library here. The one thing I want to say is if you get PlayStation 5, you get 6 months of Apple TV Plus on your PS5. So that is really cool. You normally, I think for Apple One, you pay $365 a month INR. And 6 months of Apple TV Plus is great, especially with these shows like Mythic Quest and Ted Lasso and stuff. It's a really good option to have. And of course, these are the apps. You have Prime Video, YouTube, Twitch, and probably a few more apps that you can kind of download. Let me go through the list. You have Apple Music, of course, now Crunchyroll, DAZN, Prime Video, Plex if you want to stream some videos, and VR experience apps. So Twitch, of course, I think I said that already. So that is the media tab. Now, if you want to go to, say, your media library, it's a little dense. You can kind of just say hold the share button, which I'm going to hold and press for now. I've changed it. I think is a single tap. Otherwise, I've made single tap to change to kind of take a screenshot. Sorry about that. And yeah, so you have different options. You can click on this and then go to media library, right? So that's the fastest way to go to the media library. Media library is kind of categorized by favorites, trophies. This is awesome. If you didn't know, the PlayStation 5 kind of makes 30-second clip. You can set it from 15 second to 30-second clip to kind of automatically take trophy videos. Before, we'd have only trophy screenshots, but now you can also take trophy videos, and you can also include audio of your expression when you get the trophy. So it is included in these videos that are automatically collected. All right. So this is a trophy I got for kind of blowing myself up. And as you can see, the trophy is recorded and all is good. You also get the videos categorized by albums based on the game. And if you have deleted games and apps, it kind of gives this weird deleted games and apps thing, which is not ideal. This is probably Deathloop. And I should probably give the Deathloop icon and show what is deleted. But yeah, anyways, so that is your media gallery. And let me go ahead and see what else I can show you. You can go to the game library. It shows you what's on the console storage, shows you what's on the USB extended storage. Go to your collection. You can see it's got a list of names, all 337. These are all the games that are in your collection. If you only want to see the PlayStation Plus games, you can go here again. It's similar to the other list that we saw earlier, just in a different location. And you can just browse through that. As you can see, I have a ton of PlayStation games because I've just kept adding this to my PlayStation list. So this kind of just stays here. As long as I have a subscription, as you can see, I have 217 PlayStation Plus games. As long as you have a subscription, you can play these. If your subscription to PlayStation Plus expires, you won't be able to play it. But if you resubscribe at a future point, you will get access to these games again. So hope that is clear. Let me see what else I can show you. Let me go ahead. So if you can kind of hit the search button here, the PlayStation 5 controller comes with a built-in microphone. You can hit this button and kind of search by audio like I'm doing now. And you can see what I'm saying is kind of showing up. I'm just going to search for, say, let me search for Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. And it's quite good. It kind of picks it up quite good. And I can obviously go and kind of, the one thing I want to show you is there is a kind of follow unfollow button, so you get like kind of game updates. So you can kind of follow this. You can kind of switch your personalization settings for this. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You should kind of explore this at your leisure. You can kind of change the personalization settings and whether you want advertising or not. And I'm gonna hit follow, and when you hit follow, you get, I hit the PlayStation button after that, so you should get a game base. I think not a game base, notifications. Let me figure this out. Yes, so you get top stories, and then any kind of game you've kind of followed, you will get a notification here of the latest news from them. As you can see, Battlefield preload is available. I can probably go over, add this to wish list, and buy this and get a preload. I know that Battlefield kind of does have a preload on EA Play. I'll probably be doing another video on that, so watch that space. So that was a quick overview of the search. You can also go to search by, if I'm here and I just hit triangle, you can see it gets highlighted and you can search that way. Go right, hit settings. I will come to this, but let's first see, this is my profile, and I can click on that. I can change my online status to busy or change my online status to offline, as it how you please. Go to my profile. If I go to my profile, you can see my username, my status online on PS5. These are my trophies. I'm going to dig into trophies, and thankfully now they made the change where you have like multiple you got the basic vertical trophy list, and you can go through all my trophies. Now this also kind of shows you how many hours you played, right? Yeah, it's interesting. I can't see it here. Sometimes it gets confusing. These are accolades, something that you can kind of you can give 3 accolades per match, as it says in random matchmaking. Not many people have used it, but I want to start using it. And you can only give 1 accolade to the same player within 12 hours. You can give accolades to players who aren't your friends. You can only give accolades to players who aren't your friends, so people don't farm accolades. That makes sense. And this got your list of games. Yeah, so in the list of games, you kind of have a kind of idea of how many hours you've played, last played, and if you kind of scroll down, you actually see how many hours you actually played even before, right? Which is weird. We didn't have that option on the PlayStation 4. Deathloop played 72 hours. Wow, I really like that game. Yes. Hours played, I'm gonna go all the way down to say, man, I think Destiny is the game I've spent most, 656 hours. My goodness. And let me go back to a really ancient game and see hours played. Yeah, so Uncharted 4, not played in the PS5. It's played 24 hours. I got my platinum in that game in 24 hours, which is not bad. Horizon Zero Dawn 118. So it shows you even the kind of hours played for really old games as well. Anyway, so that's list your friends, list of all your friends. You can go ahead here to see all your shares, which probably show up on your profile. As you can see, FIFA 22. This is kind of the PlayStation Live or whatever you kind of put it on there. I'm just going to quit out of that because you can edit your profile, name, online ID, profile picture, avatar, cover image, about, languages. Again, cover image, I'll show you. You can kind of take, I have Joel. You can kind of put whatever you want. If you want a trophy, or filter that and kind of put a screenshot from that game. Languages, about, you can change whatever you want. Privacy settings, obviously. You can kind of choose who can see stuff and all that. We will probably go through all the settings once. Wait. That was a weird glitch, sorry about that. So as I was saying, so you can just go down and kind of see the other stuff. There's not much here. And of course, you can quit down and you can see trophies like we saw before. Go to trophies, say you got a hitman, it'll show you what trophies you have, what you don't. You can drill into it as you like, and then you can kind of compare trophies with, say, a friend. And yeah, you can, if you want to kind of show a hidden trophy, you can just click on the trophy and say press the square button, and it will show you what things you can do. The great thing about that's new and it's cool here is you can start tracking trophies. So you just say start tracking, and it will give you a list of trophies that you're kind of tracking, and you can add multiple trophies to tracking, right? So that's awesome. And just click on options. You can change your privacy settings for trophies and see your gaming history and hidden games. You can sync the trophies with PlayStation Network. Now, you don't need to really do this like you used to back in, say, the PlayStation 4 days, but in case you're having an issue with trophies not tracking, you can kind of do that. You can also see the trophy stats quickly there. So that's trophies. You can switch user and just fast switch there, and hit log out like we saw earlier. That's that. I'm going to go through the settings very quickly. The first is user's guide. You can click the user's guide if you want and just load up a web page with all the list and stuff, and you can see that. Health and safety stuff, read that at your leisure. Legal information, people who want to know the legalities of using PlayStation 5 and 4 software. Of course, then there's accessibility. You can kind of change the zoom, enable zoom, use different kind of options here, especially for if you're like, if it's hard for you to see, or maybe you just, there are these shortcuts that you can start using zoom for if you're not able to see the text properly for whatever various reasons. I'm just going to go ahead and disable it. You can learn more by clicking on the learn more. Invert colors to kind of get high contrast, sorry about that. Color correction to kind of enable color filters, and a lot of different very interesting options for, say, people who have issues with, say, color blindness and other issues. And that's a good text size. You can change this to large, very large, or small. Make text bold, high contrast, which kind of removes the kind of weird gradation and kind of makes it more contrasty for you to read through. Auto scroll speed, reduce motion. You have screen readers and various options which kind of reads out all the stuff and text on your screen. Turn that off.
And provides spoken guidance for operating the console.
Controllers, you can actually change custom button assignments and kind of change this around. I'm not going to mess with this. If you really want to kind of change the L1, L2, R1, R2 buttons, and you can kind of click in that and kind of change around. Great feature. If maybe you're left-handed, you feel more comfortable doing stuff around, whatever it is. I've personally never seen the need for this, but you can switch the left and right analog sticks. And yeah, make sure if you do this that if someone else is playing with you, just make sure that you tell them what the changes are, change it back for them. You can also set the press and hold delay for the PlayStation button, normal or long, so that to avoid like accidental like presses and all that. Vibration intensity, this you would want to kind of change. I've kept it as strong because I want to kind of experience the full thing. If you feel fatigue in your hands, you can kind of switch it off. Keep it at weak, medium, or strong. Same thing with trigger effect intensity, which is basically when you're shooting, so the kind of the trigger locks in. So if you want to kind of turn that off, you can turn that off. I leave it as standard. This will also probably help with say your battery life. Obviously the haptic motors consume quite a decent amount of battery. It's not that bad, but if you really want, say, long time on your controller. This is one way of kind of increasing the battery life. Closed captions, you can kind of use closed captions for videos and set this at a global level. Chat transcript, if you are hard of hearing or stuff like that, you can enable chat transcription. And I've not personally tried it out, but you can select these different options for that. Those are the accessibility settings. Network settings, obviously I need to kind of blur that out. So you can set up your network, kind of change things around, and maybe just see your network settings, connect to the internet, set up internet connection. Users and accounts, again we saw this, your account, privacy, users, etc. Now I'm going to show you how to delete that user we created earlier. Just go ahead and click on that and it will delete the user. Login settings, whether you want to log in automatically, change your login passcode, and other such privacy related stuff. All your email IDs, linking with other services if you want to share, stream YouTube videos and stuff. And yeah, that was network. You can set your family and parental controls if you're a parent. I'm not going to go too in depth into this because you can kind of figure that out when you want to do it. Go to system, you have your console information, system software update stuff. This is where you update your software. It'll automatically check and see if you have updates. You can download update files automatically, and you can also install update files automatically. So you can only set it to download. If you want updates to download when you're in rest mode, you can kind of turn this on. If you don't want to kind of it to install and you want it to ask you permission, you can probably turn this off. Right. Reporting system software errors, error history, system feature updates, data transfer, backup and restore, reset options. Data transfer is basically transferring like your data from your PS4 to PS5. If you're just coming there, you can kind of transfer it, connect both wired, I would say, and kind of transfer the data between the two systems. You can also choose backup and restore. And as usual, backup your PS5 games, restore. You can kind of there's no USB drive connected. Oh, I need to have it formatted in a specific way for it to allow me to restore. Delete backup data. So I can restore a lot of these. Reset. So the way you would kind of reset your console before, say you're selling it off, or you want to just reset it and restore default settings. The settings are here. Done. HDMI. Can enable HDMI device link, enable one touch play. So if you turn on your PS5, your TV also turns on. Enable power off link the other way around. Enable HDCP. Notice that if you are using a capture card like I am to kind of capture this overview, and you need to disable HDCP so that otherwise your Elgato and all those capture cards won't allow you to capture footage. If you're streaming games and you're using like a Mac or PC to kind of stream games, you do not need to turn this off if you're streaming from the console Twitch app or whatever directly. It is only if you are routing it through a capture card, right? The one other thing is, if you disable HDCP, you will not be able to run YouTube, Netflix, or other video apps, because this is copyright protection built into HDMI to kind of avoid people recording like TV shows and stuff. So it will not work. The app just won't launch. So you will have to re-enable this to kind of watch YouTube and stuff. Just remember that one important thing. Of course, language, you can set the language to different things, keyboard settings and stuff. You can go to media remote, set up media remote, controllers, vibration intensity, trigger effect. You can also change the brightness of controller indicators. Now, these, you can kind of jump into these different settings from different places. So, that's a good thing about here. You can set your date and time, format, date format, remote play. Now, if you want to say use your PS4 and kind of, you want to use your PC and kind of play PS5 games on your Mac or PC, you can kind of enable remote play and then download the PlayStation remote play app on your laptop or desktop. You need to go in and link and figure that out. Power saving, set the time until PS5 enters rest mode. I have set this to don't put in rest mode. You can kind of say after 1 hour, which is actually safe. And maybe I put after 20 minutes. I'm not going to put 20 minutes after 1 hour because I don't want it to go to rest mode that quickly. Now, features available in rest mode. A lot of people are asking, how do I charge my controllers when my PS5 is in rest mode and it is not charging? And you need to come in here and enable that option. Features available in rest mode. As you can see, you have an option that says supply power to USB ports. To charge your controllers, plug them into the USB ports. If you select 3 hours, power will be supplied only for that long after entering rest mode. So you can either set this to off. I think it's probably off by default, I'm not sure. 3 hours always. I suggest leave it at 3 hours. Your controller should finish charging within 3 hours, and then it's a good feature to kind of stop any overcurrent. You can also say stay connected to the internet. You need to enable this if you want PS5 to download stuff in rest mode. If you disable this, your updates will not work. You can also enable turning on PS5 from network. You can turn on your PS5 remotely using PlayStation app or remote play. Now I like turning on my PS5 sometimes from my app. You can disable this. You can also turn on your PS5 remotely using the Spotify app. So that's another fancy way of doing it. But remember, the most important thing is if you want to download updates and supply power to USB ports and charge your controller, these are two options you'll have to look at. And you can also kind of set the time until controllers turn off. I have left it at 10 minutes so that the controller doesn't keep losing battery, or just as a safety thing. A web browser, you can kind of allow cookies, enable JavaScript, delete cookies, clear website data, etc, etc. Now going to storage, so you can see we have a console storage. It's about 667.2 GB. It's actually an 825 GB hard drive inbuilt into the PS5, but you get about 667 GB to play around with, and it shows you your free space. Also gives you kind of a legend breakup of what is taking up a lot. I've kind of recorded my videos in Media Gallery at 4K, so you can see a lot of the storage is kind of taken up by Media Gallery. Now my currently connected drive is only for games, so it can't store Media Gallery. I'll have to plug in another drive for that. Of course, save data is taking up 11.53 GB. You can go ahead and kind of delete the save data in the local storage after you kind of upload to cloud storage, and it should be good. So that you don't keep a lot of save data that takes up space. As you can see, it's got 114 GB. I need to really check what is taking up so much space. It's just a ton of games. No, it's not 114 GB. I read that wrong. 11.53 GB. It's probably the PS4 games because I kind of copied over the save data from my PS4 to my PS5. So again, you can kind of transfer your save data around or just upload to console storage. And this is going to take a while. Yeah. Wow, dreams. Those are like really big save data files. If I select all, it's about 10.95 GB just in PlayStation 4 saves, and it's a lot. I can probably delete most of these. So that's insane. And other is system data, 28.43 GB. So this also changes depending on how it's not a fixed amount. It'll change. Let me go to you. Okay, wait a minute. I'll go to games and apps and show you that. These are only the games in console storage. You can kind of select items to move or delete, and then you can kind of choose whatever you want and move that. Obviously, it'll show you. The good thing is, as you select, it'll kind of dynamically update how much can be moved. and how much space is going to be taken up. So yeah. Also, you cannot move apps from the PS5 to external storage for whatever reason, maybe for DRM reasons. So I'll make a note of that. Installation location. Now, if you do connect your M.2 drive, which is a physical drive that you kind of open up your PS5 and install it in, you will be able to choose where the storage is done. Here right now it's grayed out because I'm not using any, or you can't use just a normal SSD for that. If you want to choose where your PS4 games automatically get installed, you can either choose console storage and then move it later on. I've just set it as USB extended storage. The default is console storage, but I want all my PS4 games directly to be downloaded onto the USB extended storage so that I don't have to download it first onto my internal storage and keep moving it. It happens automatically. So this is a great feature. So this is a very important thing that you need to keep note of. You can download PS4 games directly to USB extended storage. Just get an SSD, which is maybe a 1 terabyte SSD. The PS4 games will work beautifully off that, because you remember PS4 games are used to and optimized to run on just mechanical hard drives, which is the old, not even a basic SSD. So don't break your head too much about read speeds, write speeds. A decent, cheap SSD will work much better than a PS4's performance. So just keep that in mind, and you should be good to go. You don't have to really buy the M.2 SSD right now. So yep, that is, I hope that clarifies that. Of course, you have sound settings. You can change your input device, microphone on the controller. If you have a microphone connected, you can do that. You can adjust your microphone level. I can unmute now and say check 1 2 3, and it'll automatically adjust that. You can mute yourself when you log in so that you don't go say on chat online and just speak. When I start a chat or broadcast, I automatically choose this to being in switch to mute, because after broadcast I want to manually unmute. The downside is sometimes you will end up just speaking without um, realizing you're on mute, so just be careful about that. Audio out, again, you can output to different devices. If you have like another sound bar or something like that, you can kind of connect it up and do that. You can automatically switch output if you don't want this just kind of turned off. Choose the kind of device you're connecting to. Like I said, AV amplifier, soundbar, or TV. I have connected to a TV, so I'm choosing that. Enable 3D audio for TV speakers. In the recent update, this has been enabled. You can now use just your basic TV speakers to get 3D audio. All the 3D spatial stuff is handled by the single core on the PS5 dedicated to audio. You can obviously play around with that. You can also measure the room for 3D acoustics. So you can kind of use this to get a feel of the acoustics, and it'll automatically set stuff. So you before you start measuring, it says make sure that your wireless control device software is updated to the latest version and the USB cable is unplugged from your controller. So you can kind of go ahead and it'll let me unmute and show you. So I'm going to kind of increase the TV volume. It's on mute now because I'm recording. You might hear something back, so sorry for the double audio. This is kind of just to show you. Yeah, so it's damn cool the way it did that. So it's fancy. And I'm using a simple sound bar, so I can kind of play around with that. Of course, you have your AV amplifier settings, headphones. I don't have headphones connected now. You can also enable 3D audio for headphones, adjust the 3D audio profile, and maybe I can connect. Let me see if I can quickly connect. My audio should show up. Yeah, so those are the simple settings. Obviously you can't hear me when I connect that in. You can enable disable home screen music if you let me show that to you quickly. So if I say have a game, you will have game audio music particularly for that game, or just a standard audio that plays. So you can kind of disable that, right, in case you don't like it. Yeah, you can kind of disable that. That's your home screen music. Sound effects are moving up and down. Always set this to linear PCM unless you have Dolby DTS. I won't touch too much upon that. Set your controller speakers. I've kept it less because I use a microphone and headphones. You can kind of change that around. Yeah, touched on all of these things. I think we finished system stuff also. Yes. Screen and video. There are a few important things here. If you go ahead and check the video output information, you can see that my resolution is 3840 by 2160 at 60 Hertz. If you have a 120 Hertz TV, it'll probably show you that. Color format is RGB, HECP is off. And this is the information about my TV and the connected HDMI device. This might be slightly different because I am running it through an Elgato, so that I can change the resolution here or leave it at automatic. I want to manually set it at 2160p so it doesn't keep switching. Now, a lot of people sometimes have stuttering issues, especially if you've not used the original cable, or there's an issue with your TV in HDMI 2.0 or 2.1 transfer limits. So you can kind of go here. It's at automatic now. You can set it to -1 or -2 and see if that fixes the flickering. This is kind of the main way that people kind of avoid these flickering issues. That's a way of checking troubleshooting. HDR, I always leave it on so that my TV is always in HDR. You can adjust HDR is set to off because I'm recording, right? Okay, that's because I'm kind of connected with the Elgato, so it's giving me that weird issue. And deep color output, you can kind of choose it off, but I'd suggest you leave it on to kind of leave HDR on. RGB range, you can kind of choose limited or full. Now if you're using a PC, is when you kind of set this to full. It doesn't make sense for you to kind of set this to full because the TV range is pretty much when I said PC, I mean a monitor. So ideally, if you have a monitor, you should be setting this to full, as far as I know, because that is 0 to 256 full color, and limited is basically 16 to 255, which is for television. So leave it at automatic. It will kind of detect what you need to do. You can kind of read up more on this, and if you're very interested, or if you have a particular question, just leave a comment in the chat below and I'll try and reply. 120 Hertz, some of you people complain about not having 120 Hertz. Come here and see if it's set to off, automatic. Make sure it's an automatic, and it should work. Go to screen, you can adjust the display area, and you can also dim screen while inactive. I've set this to don't dim because I use the TV as, say, my background for live broadcasts, but ideally you should kind of leave it at, say, after 5 minutes. I'm going to leave it at don't dim. Blu-ray, DVD settings, these are legacy settings that if you want to kind of use, you can play around with that. Accessories, you can go to Bluetooth accessories and kind of check your wireless controller settings and other things. You can turn off Bluetooth or turn off accessories. Controllers, again, like we went through this before, you can kind of change this vibration intensity, trigger effect intensity, brightness. If you want to save power, just dim this and it will visually change the brightness of your controller. It's near the touchpad, right? Communication, you can either use wired or Bluetooth. Apparently it's not applicable for the DualShock 4 ZCT1 series. Might decrease latency. I'm not really sure, but you can play around with that and see. You can update your wireless device software. Normally, when you have an update, it happens automatically. It'll prompt you for that. But yeah. Shortcuts for create. Of course, we went through controller speaker. Shortcuts for create button. So you can kind of change this. I've set it at easy video clips, and you can kind of change the length of recent gameplay video clip. I've set it at 30 seconds. You can set it for 1 hour. Display save confirmation for screenshots, etc. Game presets. Now, this is something new. You can kind of, if game starts supporting this, you can set your default so that whenever you start a game, if you always want to start a game on hard, you can choose hardest or hard or whatever it is, and it will automatically sync with the game that supports it and start the game there. You don't have to manually do it. Even performance mode or resolution mode, most games coming out now are going to follow this format. If you want performance mode in all the games without playing around in settings, just change around. This is again not mandatory. If you play inverted, for example, you can kind of choose inverted here so that every game that supports it, you will automatically kind of play inverted and you don't have to go in and change everything around. It's a great feature. Subtitles, audio, etc. I should probably, I always say this is on. Audio language, original audio, or same as console. Yep. So that was game presets, and we went to accessibility already, so I won't go back to that. Media remote, if you want to set up keyboard, etc. Mouse, you can connect a mouse there. Camera, I have a PlayStation 5 HD camera. You can kind of adjust your HD camera there, and if you have an old PlayStation camera, you can do that there. So these are the settings. I won't go through that now, but if you have a PlayStation 5 camera, you can play around with that. Okay, save data, game app settings. So okay, save data in your console storage. You can play around with that. Usual settings, if you're used to a PS4, you can kind of select this, upload, select all, upload, and it'll tell you how much space is there after uploading, before uploading, etc. Cloud storage will show you how much data you have in cloud storage. So if you want to download it the other way around. Same thing for save data on PS4, game presets we went through, automatic updates. Now your PS5 will regularly check for the automatic updates. If you don't want this to happen, just turn this off. If you want it to auto install in rest mode, you can kind of enable so and disable. There are 2 ways of doing it. I guess we saw the other way there of enabling that in rest mode. You also need to enable this here. It comes enabled default based on your initial privacy settings. It basically, when you start your PS5, it runs you through a profile check on what kind of settings you would want on your privacy and all that. Now, a super awesome feature I have seen is spoiler warnings. So you can enable this if you don't want spoilers. Warn about content that's marked as a spoiler by a game developer. There is a setting that game developers do that. Everything you haven't seen yet. Now, this is awesome because the other day I was chatting about someone with Deathloop. They sent an image in PlayStation 5 chat and there was a spoiler tag. I couldn't see the image. I had to click in and kind of only then did it kind of show me what the image was, and it actually works, which is amazing. So if you're particular about spoilers like I am, this is something you can enable and make sure that's set. Game status, sync your game status and trophies with PlayStation Network. This is another trophy and sync status, and I guess I don't really know what this does, but I guess it's useful if you're having issues with some kind of a save or something. Followed games, again what we saw earlier on, you have a list of all the games that you followed. It'll show up here. You can just go ahead and mass unfollow and stuff that you don't want, like I don't want to follow World War II, I will unfollow, and that is that. So we went through that. Notifications, now you can allow pop-up notifications, you can show a preview, you can turn this off and customize this how you want. You can enable disable sound, display time, default long, extra long, short if you don't want it to be on screen too much. Select what pop-ups you see. You can choose hide during videos, broadcasts, etc. So that when you're recording something, these things don't randomly pop up. Select which friends notify when they're online. You can choose that. Game invitations, again, these are just custom stuff. You can go ahead and play trophies, challenges are this cool thing, especially if you play in Astro, where I think one of my friends, Mojo Jojo, kind of beat one of my time records, and it showed up and said, do you want to like beat this record again? Your record's been broken. It's an amazing way of getting gamers back in, and I feel like it's going to be used a lot. Friend requests, messages, voice chat, accolades, song change, downloads and copies. Again, just go through this. It's an exhaustive list of notifications that you can control. Captures and broadcasts, again, you can change your shortcuts for capture, etc. We saw this already. Screenshot format, JPEG or PNG. Video clip format is default at WebM. I don't think if it's going to change. Manual recording resolution, you can either choose 1080p or 4K. Include your mic's audio. So warning, this will also include your mic audio in your trophy recordings, and it'll also include voice chat audio. I've kept this on. You can change it how you see fit. Broadcasts, you can choose the video quality from 720p at 30 to 1080 at 60. They don't have a 4K broadcast, but that's okay. I think that's not in the scope of this current gen. Include voice chat audio. Camera, change your camera settings when you're going on broadcast. You can only use the PlayStation 5 camera as far as I've seen for broadcast. I don't think you can use it during matchmaking. Overlays for broadcast, you can kind of change that. Chat to speech. Auto captures, you can choose trophies, what trophy grades you want. You can only kind of capture the platinum, gold, silver, platinum, gold, or just platinum or none, or just all trophy grades. I want all trophies captured. Save trophy videos. These are screenshot, save trophy videos, all trophy grades, agree on the same settings. Trophy video duration, normally it's at 15 seconds. I've set it at 30 seconds because I want a little more lead in and like lead out for the trophy to set context, which is a good feature. There you have it. Those were your settings, and I hope that was exhaustive enough. I can't think of anything else I'd want to run you through, and this seems like, yeah, let me know. So that was a quick overview. I think I've touched on everything pretty much, and if I haven't, do leave a comment below, and I will be sure to kind of try and include that in. Let me know if you like this video. Hit the like button. It was quite a long video, right? And I hope it kind of helps. I will try breaking it down to smaller videos, but let's see how that goes. Hope this helped. Leave your comments, leave your questions. Again, if you liked, hit the like button. Do hit the subscribe button. Also, if you want more such videos, do hit that notification bell icon. My name is Vinay. You've been watching The Lazy Indian Gamer. This is the PS5 UI UX overview and the settings video. Check out my other series. If you want to support me, do support me on Patreon. I put out early access videos for Game Pass Mondays, Indie Tuesdays, and PlayStation Plus preview, which goes out on Thursdays. Of course, I'm probably going to be playing Hitman or Vampire. We'll figure that out. And yeah, this has been fun. If you think of any other things you want me to kind of record and share, do let me know. Hope this was helpful. I will see you in the next video, guys. Thank you for watching, and ciao.